And stand by. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend pre-season 3 after show or pre-show. Come follow us as we talk about sweet, sweet revenge.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
For old time's sake, let's go ahead and just listen to this, right?
And so I decided to move to West Covina, California. Brand new pals and new career. It happens to be where Josh lives.
I missed this graphic too, by the way.
I'm here.
She's the crazy ex-girlfriend.
What? No, I'm not.
She's the crazy ex-girlfriend.
That's a sexist term.
She's the crazy ex-girlfriend.
Can you guys stop singing for just a second?
She's so broken inside.
The situation's a lot more nuanced than that.
C-R-A-Z-Y.
All together?
Okay, we get it.
Crazy ex-girlfriend.
You said that way better than I did. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Nino, and welcome to the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend Season 3 pre-show special here on AFTERBUZZ TV. That's what I was trying to say in the beginning here, but I got it out. There we go. You can follow me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and my two lovely panelists are here. We're missing Renee, but we do have Briana.
Hey guys, you can find me as always, Phipps14, Twitter and Instagram.
And we have Trene.
Hey you guys, it's your girl Trene. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at your girl Trene.
All right, guys. So, Season 3 pre-show special. And I got to give it up to the guy who kind of really tried to make us do this and really put together, like, if you pull this up really quick, a whole bunch of notes for us to kind of go over and talk about what could happen in Season 3. And that is Cliff Ames Jr. So, shout out to you, Cliff. Thank you so much for preparing this. And you're the reason why we're actually doing this. So, yay to you.
It's like a bow down to him.
Bow down to
Thank
Cliff.
you, Cliff.
Bow down to Cliff. He really DM'd me on Twitter and was like, hey, I prepared this, and if you want to use it, feel free to do it. I'm like, this is actually really impressive.
It's amazing.
He's like a television analyst, literally, about everything we're about to talk about right now. So this is what I want to kind of do. And I want to run down the overview of what we think Season 3 is going to be about. The nuances, obviously we love nuances, casting, predictions versus what we want to see. And we have some news for you guys as well, too. I'm going to start off with that, actually. So, with AfterBuzz TV for the past 2 seasons, we've been doing the after show special for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Unfortunately, this coming season for Season 3, we won't be having the long-form situation that we usually do for the after show special, but we're planning something different for you guys. Briana and I are putting together, so stay tuned, watch out for that. What do you think, Briana? Are you excited about that?
I'm very excited for it. I think we have a lot of good ideas swirling around, and I don't want to give too much away because we're still trying to figure it out, but next week definitely follow our Twitters, our Instagrams, and look out for that because we're going to have something up by next week after the first episode is aired.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But
Exciting.
right, let's talk about the overview for Season 3. We have the trailer, actually, that's up. We're going to watch a little bit of the clip there and kind of talk about what we see. And the biggest difference I see here, obviously, is it's a lot darker. I mean, we know Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's dark already.
And not just her hair.
And not just her hair. Everything's pretty much a little bit like, it's on the revenge side. I said earlier, sweet, sweet revenge, right? But the trailer shows that all there, basically. And we kind of see the mood changes of Rebecca. You know, she goes from her highs and lows, right? She's a little bit more on the low. I'm gonna get you kind of side this time. What do you think?
I mean, she's definitely on the I'm gonna get you. I wouldn't even say it's a low though. I feel like she's in her element. Like her perfect element is always the like chase or the planning. It's never like once she kind of like, I mean, we saw it last season. Once she got Josh, she had that kind of fall off, and then she was kind of after Nathaniel, and then she didn't really kind of come back until it was like, now we're engaged and let me plan the wedding. She's in her best element when she's planning something and when she's going after something. So I think we're gonna see her in her highest like kind of point, which is a low point. But
I'm scared.
The crazy ex-girlfriend, the crazy ex-fiance is reemerging, especially with just like her, you know, revenge. Like I could see her with like a knife or like, you know, like just
I'm not even right. Like if
on a wedding cake, just
Right.
her on the wedding cake and just a knife.
Her on
just
the wedding
moving.
cake and the
or you know,
knife.
just somebody, a figurine that represents her with a knife.
but we did say last season that the ending was very Desperate Housewives feel.
Right.
Oh, right, definitely. Was she gonna jump off the cliff? Was she not? What was gonna happen?
That
You
was
know
crazy.
what I mean? If we could pull up the trailer in just a little bit here, we'll go ahead and kind of take a look and kind of analyze that a little bit more. But if we even look into something deeper, and Clifton mentioned this, the episode titles. They're a lot different than before. None of them say Josh on it. None of them have exclamation points. They're basically
question marks.
or question mark. They're basically straight to the point. So if we can pull up that video there, we can go ahead and kind of just talk a little bit about everything and what we see. Although the music is still a little bit happy, but it's kind of like that cynical happy, which I'm kind of like
You guys are so
excited to see. I'm sorry?
I said I'm ready to throw to it when you guys are.
Go ahead. Feel free to do it. Let's do it.
Friday, October 13th.
So this is this Friday that's coming up. I'm really excited for it. But look at that.
White, which is ironic.
That white dress there. I love that. That white dress right there is kind of like from Basic Instinct. And we have a picture of that later on with Sharon Stone and kind of her revenge and whatnot. But looks like all of her friends are down to help her with this revenge plan. What do you guys think?
It's going down.
Well, it's like I love that they put Heather in there saying she loves drama, because all of them made sense to me, but Heather, because Valencia, she's also an ex,
Right.
so she can feel what Rebecca's feeling right now, and she can be part of that with her. Obviously, Paula's down for anything that Rebecca's gonna do because she's her ride or die.
Right.
But Heather's kind of like, why is Heather gonna help her?
I think she's
Heather's
just
like lazy. So when they said I love drama, it's like, okay, Heather's down because she just wants to be part of the drama.
Right. I think Heather's just bored at this point. She's like, what do I do? Is she still Miss Douche at this point?
Yeah, I mean, she never lost her title.
There you go.
She was last time we saw her being Miss Douche was at the club.
At the club. Oh, that's right.
She
at
never
the club.
lost her touch.
That's right. She never lost her touch. I love it. I love
Oh
it.
my gosh. But I mean, I thought it was interesting that like she's buying all these supplies, which I'm assuming are supplies for things she's going to do to Josh.
Right.
But she's wearing a bride beanie.
Right. Well, I mean, she still has the thought in her head.
Like, does she
On her head.
like? Is she still thinking I'm still a bride?
She's been a bride.
Or, like, I want it to be bride with a cross.
Oh,
out there.
yes.
You know
That
what
would
you-
be interesting.
You know what you just said about her with she's in her element when she's fighting for something or she's pulling for something? I just thought about this right now. Maybe she really just wants to fight and get Josh to marry him because that's all she wants to do still. Even though
That was my question for you guys was, do you think that she would still want to marry him and take him back if that was an option?
She's crazy, so yeah.
No, because he embarrassed her.
But that's you. You would.
But he's embarrassed her before. He like literally ran out the minute she thought she was pregnant.
This was
true.
embarrassing.
And then he came back and she was like, oh my God, you're back. Yay. Everything you've done to me.
This was embarrassment in front of her dad, who we thought was going to flake on her, in front of her whole family, her
True.
friends. He runs and does this. So I think that maybe the whole bride evacuation situation is just going to be like, that's what we're going to see a lot this season, is like her plotting and planning and just doing all these creepy things to Josh without him knowing that it's really her, because she has her accomplices.
Right, I could see that.
It's like it's her peeing on the equipment all over again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let's not go there anymore. Another nuance I did see in that trailer, though, you saw everything that she could be mad about. You saw her stepping on the pretzel, the famous pretzel that was in the beginning of the first season, the first episode, actually.
Yeah.
You see that's torn and that's done.
That's her view of West Covina. West Covina was never West Covina. It became that for her, but it was always Josh.
Right.
So
It was
the
Josh
pretzel
Covina.
represents West Covina and the idea of her and Josh together and the idea of her being happy finally. And now that that's gone, the pretzel's destroyed.
That's it. Let's get into casting a little bit here, because some people are now series regulars. So shout out to David Hull,
White Josh.
White Josh, and Nathaniel. Nathaniel is now a series regular.
I always kind of thought he was
at
from
the
the minute
end.
he came back.
Season
Not
2.
back, but just on the show.
Yeah, for season 2, I guess he still wasn't casted as a
He
series
was
regular.
wasn't he in every episode?
Almost every episode. I would say like more than half the episodes. Yeah, I don't know, but David Hull. I'm excited for White Joe to come back.
I'm excited for White Joe and Daryl because I love that they're actually still together, that they've worked through some issues that we've seen. Like, I love that they kind of are representing the more healthy, even though in the last episode we ended with Daryl
Right.
being like, we don't need to be married. Let's have a baby. And White Josh just being like,
Daryl just needs that commitment. He's looking for that commitment all around.
and White Josh is very...
Maybe we'll see White Josh doing a lot of things to show and step up.
Do you think that they're
Maybe.
actually going to be like looking for a surrogate or adoption agencies and stuff? Do you think like that's going to happen this season, or do you think they're going to kind of squash that right in the beginning?
I think it's going to be touched upon, but it's not going to be a whole part of the season just because there's so much that's going on with Rebecca. Like, if we go ahead and pull up what I was talking about with the Basic Instinct picture, and just all these pictures that she does have coming on. I think she has one that was like more Breaking Bad or whatnot, but you can see here, this is a little bit darker here, right?
This is the Breaking Badish one, I think.
Yeah, the Breaking Badish one, she was actually in
Oh,
in
that's the one with
suit.
the yellow suit. Yeah,
she was
no,
actually in
I don't
yellow
know. This
suit.
one's just...
I'm not really sure which this one alludes to or whatnot, but you could just tell straight off the bat that this is totally different. It's a lot darker on this side. The next picture...
Well, her balloon went from pink to black.
Right, exactly. Like her heart.
Oh,
Like her heart. Trene's like, oh.
It's like just all in.
Right.
Revenge.
And the next one we see here is the Sharon Stone one, alluding to Basic Instinct here. And cigarette in the hand, just ready for her revenge to basically kick it off and just go for it, as you guys can see there. And she has a couple other ones that that are in her Instagram. So if you follow Rachel Does It, or Rachel Does Stuff, you could actually see it, as well as on the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend site. But then she also has some fun ones too, that actually are a little bit more... Well, Briana, I'm going to let you take this one away, because we talked about this before. The tatas.
The ta-ta towel. I mean, I don't...
Just speak your truth.
I just hate this so much.
This is going to be
Like,
episode.
I remember seeing the commercial or whatever it was for these towels when it first came out online.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself, who would ever buy that? And why? Why is this a thing? Because, like, okay, I'm not going to go to the beach and just be hanging out in this.
But this is like for after your shower, right?
No, they showed people in the commercial. They were at the beach and at the pool.
Well, they're using this for one of the episodes, Rachel says. I'm guessing. Well, it says it there, and I'm hoping she really does use it for one of the episodes, because that's hilarious there.
when they go on vacation.
I know, she's definitely... I mean, that's totally...
That's in it.
That's just Rebecca all to a T. She would totally buy that. She'd be down for it.
Oh, yeah, that's
She would
definitely
think
Rebecca
she was
Bush.
fashionable in it.
Right. I wonder what that storyline alludes to, but there's so many other things that are there, too. They have, like, a medieval thing that's happening as well, too. I've seen a whole bunch of...
I've seen an 80s thing with her and Paula.
Right. There's just
I love that.
They're going back in time a little bit. I wonder if it's all in one episode, if it's spread out.
I'm sure
throughout
it's
the
spread
time.
out. You know, they always do their theme kind of songs and everything, too, so...
Right. It's definitely exciting. One question I do have for you guys, though, is we talked about this all the time. I'm pretty sure people want us to talk about it again. Will Greg return anytime? Anytime that this is still on air?
I mean, I can say what I want, which is I do want him to return.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's like... I don't think she'll bring him back, like, for good, but I think it's not out of the realm that he might come back to make a cameo at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope he would if his schedule allowed it.
I think he might be in like a dream sequence. They might bring him back in that sort of aspect where she's
They
like
do a lot of those, yeah.
going
Well,
through.
when he left, he said, like, my dad's still here.
Right, so
Like,
he
there
still has
is
something West
still,
Covina.
like, I think, like, you know, a holiday episode, they could bring him back. Like, he's back for the holidays from school.
That's true. And they're not done yet. I think they've only shot 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of it's going to depend on Santiago's schedule and
Right.
if he can make it back rather than if they want him back.
Do you guys
or
know what
not.
he's up to right now? I haven't really double checked.
I believe he's still in New York doing something out there.
Doing his thing in New York. Well, you never know. I think it could be a thing. Another thing that I wanted to talk about,
Maybe he's
too.
in the new Frozen musical on Broadway since
Hey.
he was Prince Hans in the...
There you go. I mean, yeah. See, he has the money. There you go. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm already. I'm good, guys. CW, it's cool. Let's talk about Rebecca's diagnosis. Now we know she's seen Dr. Akopian a couple of times. Actually, a lot. You know.
Well, I mean...
But it still hasn't gone anywhere because
I feel like all of her sessions put together would equal up 1 hour, though. I feel like she
I
always
believe
leaves
it.
her sessions
in the middle of a
like
light
5 minutes
bulb.
in.
or she just goes on a tangent and Dr. Akopian is just like, I'm just gonna let you talk this out yourself. It's not really happening. But what do
Or
you
like the
think?
dream ghost one where she thought she was having a session, but really she had fallen asleep at the beginning of the airplane.
What do you guys think, though? What do you think is her real diagnosis?
She's bipolar.
You think she's bipolar?
She could be.
Okay.
I mean, she does have very highs and lows and extremes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pretend to know enough about mental health to try to guess what her diagnosis is, because I don't, you know, I don't want to like go off and say it's something when I could be completely wrong on that.
Right. I think I agree. I was a psych major, and I see the bipolar disorder there
She
a
probably.
lot.
I wonder if she's going to have multiple.
Right. Oh, then just one. It could happen.
I mean, usually I don't know like with mental health and stuff, but you know, like with physical disability, usually there's multiple. So I don't know if with
things are
mental health,
wrong.
there's usually multiple or just one.
Trene was just talking about this. Mental Health Day was just yesterday, right?
On the 10th. Mm-hmm.
On the 10th. And the good thing about the show, as dark and crazy as it is, they bring this to the forefront with mental health. And we know it's been, it's a big issue. It can just range from so many different ways if you don't talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Now we have a Logic song out there, the Suicide Hotline song with Khalid and Alicia Cara that just went that was on the Billboard charts forever this summer and still hitting it at the moment now too. And you have something like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend that's on air that's talking about it in a more comedic way, but just to bring awareness to it. So as dark as it could be, it could still be a light for somebody to actually, really talk about it.
Well, and I like, with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, I think one of the best things they do is they bring it around in a comedic way. But they don't do it in a way where they're like just making fun of it.
Right.
Because you still feel like when we saw her in the treatment facility at the end of last season, like we were all kind of feeling bad for her at that point. Like, we could understand her a little bit better, even though we always knew, we didn't know that she'd ever like actually been sent for treatment and that she'd actually gone through all of this stuff.
Right. I still want to know more of that backstory and how she bounced back from that.
Well, she obviously didn't bounce back.
Well, she didn't look the way
relapsed.
she did. She relapsed, definitely. But just the story in between that time and how
she got out of the facility.
Right.
I mean, I think I feel like that's why we're going to see her diagnosis, is that maybe through those flashbacks we'll see what the doctor said back then.
More and more flashbacks. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, and hopefully now this season she'll come to terms with admitting that she is, facing these situations, because I sometimes feel like she denies it or tries to act like everything is okay, but we see clearly that she's had some issues stemming from childhood with both her parents. So
she has issues with friendship, she has issues with men, she has issues with just being okay with who she is. I mean, I think that I would hope, I know she said she wanted 4 seasons ideally is what she wants out of this. I would think that the ending would be her coming to terms and learning to be who she is in her own self, and not not being herself because she needs validation from everybody else. Right.
Oh. That's right. Here's little Rebecca, right? If you you see her denial from the beginning. So this could have stemmed from something, like you said, straight from the beginning, from her parents acting the way they were, from her dad leaving to not really loving her in a sense or whatnot, her mom being overprotective and kind of crazy.
Well, her mom being overprotective, but then not allowing her to feel the love that she had for her. Right,
exactly. Not showing it the way she should have shown it or whatnot. So you have so many different things that could allude to her being the way she is now or whatnot.
Right. I feel like there's so many layers to Rebecca. We see her being in a relationship. We see her being a friend to someone who's going through marital issues. And now we're going to see how she deals with being left at, her potential altar. Right. Because, it shows how does a woman deal with some sort of situation like that? Is she... a lot of times, especially when she's working in a position that she's higher up in, has to always be strong. She can never be, weak or show any weaknesses. So it's going to be really interesting to see them.
Well, it is interesting to see the fact, they keep saying that every guy she dates is a replacement for her father, but keeps doing what her father did, whether it be in a good or a bad way. Her dad left and abandoned her. And then wasn't ever there for her and only was there for her when he needed something. Right. But we see that again with Josh and with Greg. Greg eventually left, which was the smart decision. But, there was times when he was there for his own selfish needs. Yeah. Not to be with her. And same with Josh. Josh, I would say, was always there for his own selfish needs. And then him leaving her as well multiple times. Every guy in her life, it's a continuous pattern.
Right. See, even Nathaniel. He was there for his own personal gain versus anything else.
It's these guys, they might do nice things for her and they might actually love her and want the best for her, but they're not in a position yet where they can be with her or with anyone. And that's the main thing that she needs to realize, is that you can't force a relationship to happen when it's not time or ready yet. If someone else isn't ready to be with you, what's the point of having that relationship?
Yeah, definitely. There you go. Preach. Jeff was waiting to push that in the booth. He was like, "Yes, I love this. I love this." But let's get into it then. Predictions versus what we want to see, because we've kind of been talking about that throughout the whole time we've been talking the past couple minutes here. But there are some things that I do want to see, but there are some things I feel like are definitely going to happen.
Your
So,
AfterBuzz
yeah, there you go.
TV predictions.
so Trene, I want to start with you over there at the end there and work our way this way. What do you think is going to happen, but what do you really want to happen in your heart of hearts?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Josh and his side of the story, why he chose to become a priest. And we're going to see the devastation of, his family asking him what happened, him just this season also going through a personality defect. Like, who is he? Who am I really? Because I feel like he always kinds to try and mold himself around a relationship. We've seen that with every relationship he's in. And then obviously the girls are going to get together for a girls' trip.
Oh,
It's
gonna
going
be
to happen.
fun. Yeah.
That's where we see the
And what do you want to happen?
boob thing come in. Well, I definitely want Rebecca to move on. I want her to reclaim who she is and to own who she is with this, and to see that, okay, I've tried with Josh. I've done everything I can. I tried to plan the wedding. He didn't do anything. He's not man enough for me. He's not ready. I'm done. I want her to be like officially done with Josh.
There's some good quotes from this preseason show here from both of you here. We gotta get some quotes out later on. So Briana, what about you?
I definitely think I agree with Trene. We're gonna see, Josh come into some decision making. I don't think he'll be a priest. I think he'll drop out of that program, whatever that program is. I don't know the steps to becoming a priest.
The monastery and priesthood, it's a long time. I don't think he could handle all that.
Well, I just honestly I don't feel like Josh can ever go his whole life without having sex again too, which they've already brought up on the show.
True.
With Father Brosh. But I think I don't know if this is a want or I think it's gonna happen. Like, there's part of me that thinks it's gonna happen, but I also want it to happen is his parents dealing with the fact that he's made this choice as being their only son, and them being a very religious family. So part of them I think is going to be appreciative that he wants to join, the church and stuff. But then there's part of them that's going to be like, this is our only son. We want grandchildren, that kind of family dynamic. I definitely, we're going to see Rebecca formulating this group with these girls and like all these crazy schemes coming up. And I think, Josh is definitely gonna I don't know how long it'll take, but he'll definitely find out that she's doing all of the stuff. And so they're gonna have to finally come face to face with each other and actually kind of hash it out.
Right.
My wants, I definitely want Greg to come back.
Right, okay.
Because I love Greg. Everyone knows that I was Team Greg. I want Nathaniel to lose I want him to actually realize that what he thinks he wants is not what he actually wants. He was starting to kind of get that during last season, but I want him to really lose that men and women can't be together attitude for a long time, that we're only together to have these animalistic needs met.
Right.
So I want him to kind of lose that and actually be romantic. And then my final prediction of what I think will happen, and this is kind of an end of the show thing, I think everybody's going to find someone to be with, and it's none of each other.
Oh, I like that. Out of the circle. I think it's always great to date out of your friend circle, by the way.
I think, I honestly think
healthy.
a great ending for the show would be almost like Rebecca coming into her own, realizing that she is a strong woman, that she does have enough value in herself to not be with somebody else, and then kind of running into someone random and just a spark hitting.
And that's a whole nother show there. Spin-off.
That's copyright by Briana Phipps.
There you go. Writers, hire her. You can find her at what is it, bphipps14 on Twitter. DM her, guys. My predictions are kind of like all of yours. I don't think Josh is going to stay within the priesthood or the monastery. I think maybe it's going to last for 1 or 2 episodes at the most.
Yeah.
And it's going to cut, and it's going to go in a whole nother direction, and it's going to be Josh finding himself and what he really wants, because you're right. He molds himself to his relationships, what other people want of him, like him working with his dad or whatnot, or him, he just doesn't know exactly who he is as a person yet. And I think he's going to have a lot of growth this season. Personally, I mean, on if you follow Vincent, who plays Josh on Instagram, he's like on this crazy fitness journey to become like a superhero right now, like a crazy.
You can also
superhero.
see amazingly adorable photos of him and his husband.
Like, right. On his, if you follow his Instagram or his social media, he's doing this whole crazy transformation. So I wonder if he has a role that's already there, or he's trying to get one. But anyways, that's another story there. But I feel like that's going to happen for him. I feel like Valencia is going to be with Rachel this whole time, or with Rebecca this whole time. But there's going to be one part of the episode she's like, well, if I'm helping her, why can't I help myself get Josh back? I think I want Josh back. That could
Do
be
you
a
think
cool
they're going to
little
start
twist.
becoming a rivalry again?
Just for one episode, because I feel like their friendship is pretty strong and whatnot, and they're going to realize, hey, no, this can't be no girl on girl hate. It's going to be...
Not to interrupt you, but I just really quickly want to ask, do you guys like it better, Valencia and Rebecca being friends or enemies?
I'm all about the girl love, so I think I like them together. You like them
Honestly, I like them to be enemies. I like that.
I'll say this. I like them as a storyline together.
Uh-huh.
Music-wise, I like them as...
I like that. There you go. That's kind of cool. Yeah, music-wise...
Because some of the best songs, like the whole song with her wearing Valencia's skin like a dress, was one of the best songs of season 1.
The yoga song, too.
I
when you're
agree.
doing Yoga.
Right. Which, oh my God, her yoga song, Valencia's yoga song. But yeah, so I think that's going to happen. I think Rachel isn't going to end up with anyone, like you guys say as well, too. Although I am still Team Josh for some weird reason. I just want to see them together at the end. I think she's going to be with somebody totally different as well, too. And she's going to empower herself at the end of this whole thing.
I think at this point, no... she can't be with Josh or Greg or anyone.
Right.
Like they've all had way too much past and history to be together.
What I want though is I want Greg to come back at the end of season 3, at the end of season 3,
Okay.
for an awesome season 4, with him in it. That's what I want to see.
Now, speaking of, because we do know that Greg had a really great voice on the show, singing wise, and we didn't bring it up with guest stars.
Ooh, the guest stars. Josh Groban.
Josh Groban.
Josh Groban's going to be a guest star on this, and we know his voice is pretty amazing.
They haven't said like if it's one episode or multiple episodes, right?
Yeah, on his IMDb, I haven't seen a multiple.
Just one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one. So that'll be interesting, but there's supposed to be more and more guest stars for this season as well, too.
I mean, we saw a ton
Kind of
last
excited.
season.
Exactly.
So.
I'm kind of excited, and Josh Groban's pretty big. So that's going to be pretty cool there.
Well, we all know that he has an amazing voice, so.
Right. Well, for once, who would you want to see on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend as far as a guest star? You know what I mean? Like, who would be crazy to
Well,
make a
I
little
feel like I
cameo?
have like people that I want to be on it for acting wise. Then I have like, because I'm a Broadway person, people that from the Broadway
What
scene
about
that
from
I wanna
Broadway?
see.
Because a lot of people would appreciate that. From there are a lot of Broadway fans that watch the show.
Laura Bell Bundy, Brie.
Laura
Yes.
Bell Bundy would be great. I feel like Laura Bell Bundy would come on to be like a co-crazy girlfriend or something.
Like she's gonna come. I can see that.
But yeah, Laura would be great. Kristen Chenoweth would be amazing.
I feel like that's coming. I really feel like that's gonna happen.
Jane Krakowski would be great. Why am I blanking on her name right now? Oh, it's bugging me. It'll come to me randomly. When we already had Patti LuPone, Idina Menzel would be amazing.
Right.
Like, you know,
I'll love Adina on there too.
even like some of like the newer Broadway people, like oh God, I'm blanking on it. He was in Frozen as well.
I would like to see Adina on. I think she could play a really cool character. I think Rachel can come up with something really cool for Idina Menzel.
Jonathan Groff, was that who?
Jonathan Groff, that's
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
gotcha.
Thank you for the guy. Jonathan Groff would be cool. He's in that new Mindhunters show on Netflix.
Oh, awesome, nice.
But he was in Spring Awakening on Broadway and stuff, and he would be like a great younger kind of feel to the show.
That'd be cool. What
Yeah,
about,
I don't know. There's a lot of people.
What
I
about pop singers or another hip hop artist to come and debut? and
Ariana
come over?
Grande, that would be random.
That'd be
but
really random. Like,
that
Beyonce would be
random.
random too.
B.
Cardi B.
What if she
Oh
went
my
on
How do we
gosh,
feel
I
about
would like
Lea
to see
Michele?
Zac Efron.
Oh,
Yeah, I know that's really
be a love
random, but
interest?
I would love
High
to see
School
Justin
Musical.
Timberlake be on there.
That
Oh,
would
I
be
like
good.
that too. I like. You know what? Now that you mentioned Cardi B, she would be perfect for this episode or for this season because of the revenge factor.
Right?
Right. That would be amazing. Anyways,
I would like really honestly take almost anybody because I
Right.
just think that the more guests, I want to see the show continue and I don't want it to get canceled before they're ready to end it.
Right.
And I know the ratings haven't been the best. I know that the president stood up for it last season
Right.
when he renewed it.
that's
so
that's
I
the
would
push.
I would really think like the more guest stars they can get, is a more benefactor for them to keep it around.
Right, and it's a critically acclaimed show, and that's the reason why the president of CW stood beside it the whole time, although the ratings weren't there for them.
Do we know if the ratings via Netflix
good? That's the funny part. So for streaming wise, they did so well for season 1. I'm not sure about season 2, but season 1 was one of the most popular shows on Netflix when it came on. So I'm guessing it's the same for season 2. They do really well streaming because anyone can watch it.
It is a very binge show.
It's a very binge show. Anyone can watch it anytime and just go through it. But to know that they were one of the most popular shows on Netflix for season 1 could be, who knows? Maybe if they don't say they might maybe pull a Mindy project, and if they don't do well for CW
just
this time,
Netflix show.
They could be a Netflix show.
That would be,
you know what I mean?
that would be
I'm
cool.
fine with it as long as it just finishes. My biggest pet peeve for shows are when it's kind of sucks because it's like shows either don't, get to finish their story, or they go on for way too long and just should have finished before.
Right.
Grey's Anatomy.
And to add on to who I would love to really see on the show would be Britney Spears.
Oh, Britney.
Or Madonna.
Bernadette Peters was the one I was thinking of earlier.
I could see Bernadette Peters. Yeah. Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Season 3 pre-show. There could be a lot that's going to pop up or happen. Really big shout out to Cliff Ames Jr. for putting this all together. We really appreciate that. Follow him at Cliff Ames Jr. on Twitter. Once again, it's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And watch out for what me and Bri are about to bring to you guys. One more short form type of show. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter so you can see what's happening.
And you guys can find me at bphipps14 on Twitter and Instagram. And what Nino said.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at your girl Trene.
Thank you, guys. We have other shows too, so follow us and see what we're up to here at AfterBuzz.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.